Evans gets it across the goal line. Connor's got the ball and shot. Goal!
Bhí ré óga pelle ag í bháilís nó 1970 agus 80. Agus na cheartlár, bhí trúr drochaid as a bhéir bán. Michael, Brendan agus Sean Lowry.
Is Dini de Frooley, Sean Farmore, Creamore again.
Sean Lowry getting it. Sean Lowry taking his shot and sending it over the bar.
We Brendan specialte, maar we shop to score now.
And this is Brendan Lowry. Goal!
Michael, Ishikun, was for the job the day and we get Ian Shane job.
And going back together there, Mick Lowry.
Buiad Clonwach Ned agus Margaret Lowry. Agus níor bhí go leor gal mád bán imiscis na cuigadaí, mar chlán dill siad máile in Íháilí as manchain hasanna.
The ESB started to build a power station in Ferban at the time, which wouldn't have been too far away from my mother's and father's home place. It certainly was a huge boost, not alone because my father came back, but because a lot of fellas got jobs.
We're here in St. Canick's Terrace and there was 26 houses in it, kind of almost a circle like. So there was a big green field there. That was all, so we just played there day in, day out.
Lots of battles.
My father used to bring me to all the matches. That time we didn't have a car.
A motorbike.
We had a motorbike, but before we had a motorbike we didn't have anything. So what we did was, he used to have to book a lift to go to the match. 5 shillings for the lift and ½ crown for me. And like, there was no way you could bring anyone else, you know what I mean? But my mother never went to matches, like, because there was such big families.
We brought her early on now. She came to a few matches now. We were at an under-21 match in Navan. Do you remember that? Sean Name were playing in Navan. And sure, she cleared the whole. There was a circle of people around her.
It's like a bomb scare.
She was never brought again. She was never brought again anyway, I know that.
Ba Sean an chéad drochreacha bacha genzí na sínsir go bháilí. In 1970 híon, bhí sé a bheanal a bhfuil gaile nar a ghrú Íháilí coran bhicír don géad uair riamh. Ach a bhlion dar gíon, genzí i bhid is sé a bhír a ghríimeige, agus bhí fób a dar na créomh as a chéile grúchaint, agus buiad céirí bhí rúmpa.
Dad would bring us along, just to know that your brother was going to be out there in a few hours' time. And
He didn't bring me ma.
no, we couldn't. Poor mum.
We couldn't.
Sean would have been the Mr. Ferban football at the time, so I'm sure that was an amazing thing for the two guys and indeed their peers to have their own brother being there, newly arrived, if you like.
Father Gilhooly was manager at the time. He pulled me one side in '72 before the All-Ireland final, and I thought I was going to get a dressing down or tell me how to play or tactics or whatever, you know. So all Father Gilhooly said to me was, "May our Lord look after you and Our Lady protect you." And that's it, out you go. I know Willie Bryan gave an exhibition. He got 3 points, I'd say, in the second half.
Lording it in the centre of the field at the moment. Willie Bryan getting himself 40 yards out, and Willie Bryan setting it up for another point for Offaly. Yes, the final whistle is gone. Offaly have won their second All-Ireland, 2 in a row for Offaly. And certainly
You have all the feelings for family and for achievement. It's all you ever wanted to do. I was in a different planet. I mean, here was I at 20 years of age, you know, after beating Kerry in an All-Ireland final. Sure, I mean, it's crazy stuff.
As the train drew into Tullamore railway station.
72, I was in 6th class. See Tony McTague and Sean bringing the cup into the school. I was.
You were 5th or 6th.
I was about
Sixth,
10
were you?
foot tall. I was brother of Sean bringing the cup into the school,
were
and
fifth.
everybody was asking me questions. So it was great.
What it felt for them to see their big brother bringing in the cup, and you know, it led to them being more successful, because at that stage, even though there was 8 or 9 years between them, it would have propelled them into wanting to do what Big Sean had done before.
Go generalta tá sé táchtach target a bheith ann don na lads óga is féidir ó bhfuilach sin mo drathair agus tá rud éigin búta aige agus tá sé de cumas a gcuine an rud éigin cosú leis sin a dhéanamh cóma.
Ach ní raidir le I bháilí curla na gcuid. Agus feadh beag nach Jim líonna hit siad siar tír go na fahí pelle, Círaí agus Black Lia.
Bhí mí áig go fáile agus a láin cúndéile mar tháinig Black Lia bhfuil sé trí corn agus sin tháinig is dócha an fern is fearríomh Círaí bhí sí dócreid.
At the time it was being dominated by Dublin and Leinster and Dublin and Kerry at an All-Ireland level, and then this unknown quantity Eugene McGee arrived.
The biggest plus Eugene had was his attention to detail. He mightn't talk to you for 3 weeks during the training, but at the same time he was always there, and I always...
3 weeks, is that what he said? 3 months or 3 weeks?
Whereas he was very difficult, very hard taskmaster, but we believed in him.
Dámrad é go raibh sé le déanamh bheith go fáda bheith orthu bua Black Lia agus Círaí agus an céad céim ná cúig láin.
Le banistíocht nuair is stúr agus le seánna gimach mar lán tasach, thug go bháilí faoi bhaon Chevan Heffernan, réaltamh Black Lia in 1979 I gluifi canis chuig láin.
Sean was a big, strong guy, but for a big, strong guy, big, strong player, a player who could play.
Solam gur kind of ceanra nádúra a bhí ann. Fear mór láidir, crí láidir aige, crí mór aige, agus anna peildóra bhí ann.
This is the furthest out he's taken him, but it's no bother to him. That's brilliant marksmanship.
We were ahead of them, but marginally, a point or two. Brian Mullins was fouled. They had a free in. And he got annoyed, and he reacted with an Offaly player, so they lost their free.
A bit of controversy as well, because there was a ball thrown up, meant to be between Bernard Brogan and one of the Offaly players, but Mullins came in and fisted it down. It ended up with Bernard Brogan scoring a goal.
Bernard Brogan the goal! What an amazing finish to this final! It's all over, Dublin are still the champions.
Díag ar níag tháinig siad a bhád níos cóngur le Black Lia. Agus sin an tácht na McGee, dólam sé an tón go léir, gach éon uair a coileidir le Black Lia agus an bliain dar gon bhíidir beagání níos láidre.
Do you think the Offaly supporters, having got to last year's final, won't be satisfied with you getting just to the final anymore?
Well, they weren't too satisfied actually after last year's final, so I'd hate to be around next Monday if we don't win this final.
Kerry were flamboyant and could beat you with football alone, but Dublin, to me, taught us about how you compete.
Tough football in 1980. I remember that first 20 minutes and it was serious stuff.
He's got the chance, he's got the point. Then Sean Lowrys the man who fouled him, and then Sean was hit by David Hickey.
That was the day Matt Connor ran riot in the second half.
A tour de force from Matt. He scored a fabulous goal that effectively broke Dublin hearts and put the issue beyond doubt.
Fuoi éire, hí na Dubs buil teacab, ach buiad peileadóirí na réocht a bhí rompa I gluifi le cheannis na héireann.
At that stage, like Kerry were going, they'd beaten Dublin in 2 All-Ireland finals, 78-79. They were meeting Offaly in an All-Ireland semi-final who had beaten Dublin, so they would have felt that there was no problem here.
They wanted a big man to watch Owen Liston. They don't come out any bigger and more watchful. Look at the way he's grabbed that ball with the hand than Sean Lowry.
Oh God, the roller coaster bhí ann. 4-12 to 4-8 a Solam. Bhí an caid an áirta lé sin, bhí a lán scór ná.
Well, first of all, it's Pat Spillan's fault. He gave him a hospital pass, really. I had taken off anyway at this stage, because I was a little late. But if you looked at it
as quick as you could,
if you looked at it in real time, and Paddy Collins came over to me and took my name. So he says, the next time you step out of line, you're going. He had me handcuffed from the start.
Listen, into the centre, and Pat Spillan is there.
I don't think there was ever any sense we were going to beat Kerry, but yet we seemed to expose some chinks.
I think the experience in the end just cut Offaly.
And this ball is gone into the...
Kerry, they were going for their 3 in a row.
The final whistle is gone. The score, Kerry 4-15, Offaly 4-10.
Now, the good thing about that time, we were kind of getting confidence, but we still knew we had to up our game, you know. Change a few players along the way as well. You know, the older players were moving on. There was a newer breed coming.
What an amazing game.
Bhí bháilí fewsú, agus le leithidí Michael agus Brendan is tíocht isteach ar a banel, bhí a cuimnú Sam a ghrúchant. In 1982 raunaíú Brendan Lowry ar fanel í bháilí agus bire cóhánaige, craomh na héireann a bhaint amach.
Brendan had that different mercurial type, natural forward, had been a soccer player, you know, a little bit prima donna-ish. I'm sure he'd smile if he heard me saying that.
That time, I suppose, you played GA. Thank God it's not now. If I was scoring a forward, you'd have to run out the field.
Yeah.
You know, at least, you know, at that time you had to stay in, and if you didn't kick it into you, well then...
You had to be given the ball that time.
What's that?
You wouldn't
well, if the ball was kicked over the line and wide, if you weren't in there, it's your fault. Like.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays you can go out and around.
Yeah, you hadn't...
I prefer the high ball. Like.
You weren't great at winning a ball now, Brendan, in fairness.
Bhí Brendan specialta mar bhí sé able to score na all. You know, tá London is tá sé able to rit lá go léir. Ach an fear able to score na all, is fear an a hocht occasion. Bhí sé dolí bheabhas gach cén bliain, agus sa craobh sin ach do héin, céim ar céim de bhí sé tacht.
Na chéad bhliain na gimmart, rá Brendan cluifiigh ceannis na héireann lena dhíad a Seán.
Brendan Lowry. Lowry's kick is high and it's gone over the bar.
Ach immert chréoch dúil chéirí rinne smidiríní go bhringloide bhí Jacob Sam a ghrúchant le chéile.
Mikey Sheehan, in it goes now, and a goal! The first score in the game. And there goes the final whistle, and Kerry have done it. Kerry.
81, if we played our best and were beaten, it'd be hard to come back. But like we didn't play really up to our full potential in 81 and still weren't far away from Kerry, you know.
Well, is cuinnam go máil an madan dargiún agus bhí mar ag léamh san nuachta an raibh Ciarí an furnas fear riamh agus an raibh éin for an ábalta, you know, an ábh nuachta a ghála.
Offaly, though defeated, came back to Turnmore last night. Bang.
Everyone remembers 1981 coming home, the homecoming. We got on Lowrys then and went down through the town.
For the turnout we had, we said the supporters deserved another shot at this, and I'd say every man to a man said, yes, we'll give it one more shot, this is well worthwhile.
It was their sense of belief in us that then made us believe in ourselves that it was something we should really go for again, that, you know, this could be doable.
In 1982 bhí trú Racabán, agus áit baintach ag Michael ar a bhuidan. Ach bhain gortú hó raibh cluifiigh leathcheannis na héireann in aon na gaiileheh.
I had trouble with torn hamstrings for all of 82. For the Galway game, I was taped from hip to past the knee.
This is Mick Lowry, and look at that for a heavy bandage on that right thigh.
I didn't even take part in the parade around the field. I was getting it touched up because I couldn't move.
Michael was a very sticky back. We wouldn't have seen him before. He would have been one of the new young lads that would have come in.
And going back together there, Mick Lowry.
You see the bhí an measca úntaach sin acu. Bhí an sais taithí ag Martin agus ag Seán agus a daoine sin agus a then bhí lads óg ag tacht, so bhí measca maithagaithe sin.
Cross into the centre now, and this is Brendan Lowry. Goal! Goal by Brendan Lowry. And there's the final whistle, and it is Offaly by 1 point.
Now we were there. We were there where we wanted to be. I think it was 3 weeks to the final, but the media thing was rolling, and there was only one answer to this thing.
None can compare with the green and the gold, who are first to be champions 5 times in a row.
5 in a row, I just don't think about it. It's another All-Ireland to be won for Kerry.
Sin an ceiste bhí gach éine sa tír, a mé Ciarí ábalta an starí éanamh agus an cúigú corn a bhaintá sa chéile.
an bhana seoir mé go bhhair so bhí seábhaach as a líadach mad istí.
You will remember what Eugene McGee said was, we'll go down in history as the team that Kerry beat to win the 5 in a row, or the team that Kerry for
5 in a row.
So you're going down in history anyway?
No, remember that now.
Well, he said
that rings a bell, mate.
Tá sé an táchtach I mór I bhfuil taithíocha sin Seán agus is minic a cloismar an scéal faoi Seán sa seomra feistis riamh an cluiche ceannis in 8-2.
Eugene McGee would do the talking and be very methodical, but he handed it over and Sean just gauged the moment, you know, the tenor of the moment.
I said, you were playing for people on Sunday that you will never meet. You were playing for people you will never see. They're going to be in back roads in Fermanagh and down in different counties and all kinds of all over the world in Australia. People are going to have their chest out on Monday morning after Offaly winning, if Offaly win. You'll be after doing it for them, but you will never know.
So Sean's thing brought the emotion into it. You know, if this is our day, by God, we're going to do it.
An céad scór for Liam Corrams a bhí I gcuine rialacha McGee a bhí ag bé you know, thug sé sin anna féin bhanín don fern.
Liam Corrams. A shot the tie, and this one is over the...
Michael was playing in John Egan, and I thought tailor-made from...
Michael Lowry, and John Egan's got it.
He was very, very tough man to mark because he was so strong, he'd solo one-handed, so he'd hold you off with left or right.
A dangerous dropping ball that John Egan, if he could get into it, could do trouble with, but he doesn't get to it. It's Mick Lowry.
I know the half-back line got a score each. That was all the first half. That was a real boost.
I scored so many in my time, I can't remember what... No.
Here we go again.
Kerry are coming at us, and this is the leadership quality Sean has. I'm going to burst up here and show these guys what we can do.
And a great shot there by Sean Lowry, coming up from well inside his own half, and it looks as if...
I was taken off that day. Tom Dunno came to me and he says, hard luck, Mick, and I said, I am absolutely shattered.
We had quite a deadly full forward line with Matt Connor there, and Johnny Mooney, and Brendan Lowry.
Brendan Lowry's shot is high and it's over the bar.
For Brendan Treacolini in Yigela, so Kela, you know, it's one to score sin.
Comes out to Tomas Connor, across into the centre, and over the bar again. Another point by Brendan Lowry. Ball knocked away from him. Bomber Liston, Pat Spillane. Pat takes a shot and his first kick of the game.
They began to get in control of the game, get a couple of scores ahead, and then they got the penalty decision.
That's Pat Spillane, and there is a penalty.
Hána gon kick pianos, bhímar gléirigh breathnú say, sin deire leis an scéal, ba mí just fannacht done, you know, done brunna an corn.
Martin Furlong, there was one man of steel. If this is going to be stopped, he's the man that could do it, and we have to be ready.
Mikey Sheehy, the anxiety, the importance of this kick. 5 in a row they're bidding for. Martin Furlong in the goal. He saved it! He saved it! Oh, Martin, what a save!
Ach even Therese sin bhí mar fantastic subgrave. Rama Gaffey to fantastic.
The 5 in a row, it was getting closer. Everybody was getting on edge. And when they weren't pushing to that glorious 4 or 5 points, getting away from Offaly, it always gave Offaly that chance.
17 to 15. Kerry back there trying to hold on.
They saw the 5 in a row in the distance and they just wanted to protect it. I remember Mikey Sheehy and Sean Welch and Pat Spillane. There was 3 or 4 of them in a line coming up the field with the ball. And I got it and gave it to Pat Fitzgerald.
But Sean Lowry out to the wing and brought down out there, Stephen Darby.
And I was winded in the tackle. Couldn't breathe, you know. The ball there, waiting for someone to kick this ball in. And Richie Connor, they just showed for the short one.
Cúb den nóméid dearnach bhí tú ag smína bhfuil beidir go méid seans go cúlín dó agus go méid, you know, cúlín a spráil ag cíorí ag dearan.
Dawdling there, and here they come. This is Liam Connor, the fullback. A high, lobbing, dropping ball in towards the goal now. A shot, a goal for Offaly.
It's just meant to be. It just, between Charlie Nelligan's fingers, and it was just the width of the ball going in there. Like. It was unbelievable.
The one thing that always struck me was how cool Mick Fitzgerald was.
Mick, yeah, sure.
After your celebration with Seamus Darby,
he walked by
and as if to say, get out of the way, lads, I want to see where Mickey Sheehy was.
That's right.
You know, he never even congratulated Darby.
No, he just walked by there, as if he missed it.
His job, he still had a job to do, you know, so.
But the one thing that I was afraid of was that they were going to get another score. All the hard work down the drain.
Well, we couldn't just wait for that final whistle and on the sideline and not being able to do anything, and we trying to defend their attack.
And he passes the ball in where Martin Furlong gets it.
As soon as Martin Furlong got the ball, I headed into the goals. So I said at that stage, I says, if I get this ball now, I'm going to give it to no man. I don't care who he is. I'm going to go to Hill 16 if I have to.
Martin Furlong has it. A pass is intercepted by Maggie Sheehy. There's the kick. It's high and it drops into the...
So with that, when I caught the ball, I looked up and PJ McGrath had his two hands out in the middle of the field. And my God, that was some feeling. Oh, I'll never forget it.
The game is over. Champions. Oh dear, what a game. What a game.
So just the whole place just erupted. Of course, nowadays, I suppose, if you won in Croke Park, it wouldn't be like that. But that time was the right thing. Everybody was on the pitch and, oh, it's just unbelievable. We only met each other on the podium. Like.
Sure, I didn't even get up on the podium.
And there's Sean Lowry, and he's got the ball, and he's going to hold on to it.
They were well down, but myself and Brendan was on the podium in front.
We were kind of
but it was,
but
it wasn't so much with brothers,
really.
It was so much that everyone was together.
Everyone was brothers, yeah.
Yeah, we were just one big happy family.
And there goes the Silverware Cup high in the hands of Richie Connor. And the Lowry brothers have taken over there for a moment, have taken the cup over.
I suppose I thought at the time was my father. He only died a couple of years before that. And I suppose that the three of us been there on the field, and it was something else, you know. I mean, to think of the way he'd have his chest out, you know. And I mean, he died a young man at 60 years of age, and his three sons in an Ireland final, beating Kerry 5 in a row.
Plotted today and plotted it with success. Out in the centre of the field is the man.
Bús dairú le bhí ann, ach ní rollaithnta chamáisina ríisteachab.
Offaly, the champions.
Chríocht na Seán Léomháilí 1982 na a bhog se go maiolacha le gobair, agus chrúise craibh chonocht le hub.
This could work out okay to Sean Lowry. He's got the goal! Sean Lowry! 2 All-Irelands with Offaly, 72 and 82. And now a goal for Mayo in the Connacht final.
In towards Brendan Lowry. Brendan Lowry has got it. 14 yards out. A kick. Is it curling sufficiently? Yes, a lovely point there by Brendan Lowry.
Chonne Brendan agus Michael Orba gimmorste steachs na leichadaí, agus buiad a crábh drama ag fórne Íháilí agus a Fairbán. Ach bhí rud cín speisialta sa bhuileachab, agus a gábhílig san naí, bhíon tainm Lowrys na ceannínta spórsta ríist, na a grú Mac Brendan, Shane, cummartas oscailte galf na héireann mar imróid amateirach.
You know, just being so proud, I suppose, just, you know, that he'd done what he'd done, and the only memory was around the green. You think it was a match. When you hold the putt, everybody ran in. I think it was Croke Park again, like.
When you think of us as a family, we were involved in the 82 All-Ireland, one of the greatest days of GAA history. And then the other sporting moment, an amateur winning the Irish Open. I don't have to say any more, you know.